Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to the Average Joe Dividends YouTube channel. In this video, we're going to go over my October budget. And what I do is I track my expenses, income, as well as my net worth. And I know budgets are not too popular, but I think it's of the utmost importance to know where your money is going. And what I do is, instead of really budgeting a traditional budget where you have different categories, which I do have categories listed, I don't assign dollar values to each category and try to stick within that budget. Instead, what I do is I spend my money based upon my needs or wants, and of course try to stay within a certain amount if possible, and of course don't overspend. So you can see here in the expenses side here, I've listed all of my expenses. There was nothing really too crazy this month, but I did have some extra expenses where I bought some recording equipment. If you noticed in the intro, that's an actual band I was a part of, and also the outro, same thing. And I'm a drummer just as a hobby. I play shows every now and then. I have one month of November, 4 shows to play, but I'm not a professional musician. But I bought some equipment for recording, microphones, things like that, and that's what kind of upped some of my expenses, like here from Reverb and Guitar Center, as well as eBay. This was a 24-track recorder and microphones, things like that. So anyway, but the largest expense, and it's probably the same for just about everybody, is your living expenses. And here's my mortgage, and I've been tacking on an extra $100 per month to try to kind of get it paid off a little bit. So actually, what I'm on the hook for is $1,278 and change, but I've been adding $100 every month and incrementing up, and I'll probably just go over maybe to 2,100. I think December I'm going to dial it back to the 1,300 because of Christmas and expenses there. But you can see here's a total for the expenses side of the equation here. We'll go to now to the income, and I'm getting income from many different sources. You can see from interest here on savings checking here, as well as dividends. I invest in stocks, individual stocks, as well as ETFs. That's an exchange traded fund, if you didn't know. And there's a VOO, there's one of them. This one pays me every quarter. It's a variable, but the individual ones here, these pay me every quarter. They're pretty static, except for what I do is I take these dividends and I what's called drip them back into the investment. So for Allstate, I took that $5.78. Instead of taking it in cash, I bought more fractional shares of Allstate. So the next time I get my Allstate dividend 3 months from October 2nd, it's going to be a little bit more. And it's going to be for everything, like Coca-Cola and all these. So we can see interest, dividends. Here's another interest here, Synchrony paid on the 6th. I do surveys just for a little bit of extra spending money over at Swagbucks. I'll leave a link below, and if you sign up using my link, you would help me out. And I think I get like $3 or something like that, something small, and that'd be great to help out the channel, help me out. And because I don't create merch or anything like that, I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm just really showing you what I'm doing, and that's really the only way to kind of help the channel out. But I do it and make decent money from it. So you can see there's a $50 payment there from Swagbucks. We got more dividends, and then here's another $25 from Swagbucks, and so $75 so far, more dividends. And then YouTube income, I don't make a whole lot of income from YouTube. I don't even get paid monthly from it. I average like $30 or $40 a month. So, but for me though, it's fun to do these videos and show you guys kind of the behind the scenes things like that, with my dividend portfolio as well as my budgeting. So here was cash back from a credit card. I have a 2% cashback card here, and here's more dividends, and closed out the surveys. Looks like I closed with $100 in surveys from Swagbucks. And then here also, here's the big W2, and this is net of taxes, as well as I contribute to my 401k and as well as medical as well. And we can see here's a monthly payer, nice large dividend I receive every month from BST. So that concludes the income total. So we can see here's the income, which is higher than the expenses. I always try to make sure that's the case. Sometimes there's a few months though out of the year where that is not possible. You just have a larger expense or whatever it is. You have just a large purchase, something like that. You have to put a roof on your house or something, that could just blow up your budget for that month. Hopefully it doesn't happen every month. So we can see here's like the totals of everything, W-2 totals. Here are the dividends, and I could have just taken these as cash, but I've dripped those back into those investments to make them grow. Here's interest from savings. Here's an I made total for the surveys, $100. Facebook, I didn't sell anything on Facebook Marketplace, so $0 there. And here's a YouTube income for October, which again is not every month. But here's the gap between my W-2 and my expenses. And that's just the W-2 lines and not including like the dividends and surveys and all that. So I cleared $406.29. But the gap when you include the interest, savings, Facebook, and YouTube, then it's at $983, close to $1,000. I was able to have a gap there. And then in this box here, I just kind of put some of the things I do that helps out with my expenses or income. So with my credit card balance, I pay it in full. I don't carry a balance, and then I have a 2% cashback card, like we saw with the FNBO cashback there. And then I use prepaid wireless Mint Mobile. I'll leave a link below to if you want to sign up for that. And that is, when you put in the taxes, everything, it's about $200 every year. Before Mint, I was using AT&T, and it was close to $100 a month. So this is a great way to lower your expenses. And I just pay that once a year in December. It's like between $180 and $200 with the taxes. And then surveys, they paid me $100 with swag bucks. The dividends paid me $744. And then you can see the savings interest. Just to let you know, I have a paid off car, no student loans or credit card debt. I used to have some credit card debt when I was starting out after college. So it wasn't like I, don't know what it's like to be in debt. I've been there before, and it's not fun. That's why I try to stay out of debt and live within my means and always have, those gaps and try to grow my net worth. And then, like I said before, my philosophy with my mortgage is to add $100 to it. And that's what I've been doing. And it's trying to pay, the house off. So let's go over to the right here. We'll take a look at kind of graphically where my money is going. And it's no surprise the housing is where most of my money is going. And then miscellaneous, most of the miscellaneous is due to dependent expenses. I have a son in college, and I've agreed to help him with some of his expenses, and those were part of his expenses in October, which jacks up the miscellaneous. And then here's pet expenses for food, and you can see restaurant, services, transportation. My transportation costs are really low because I have a paid off car, so it's going to be really fuel. And if I have to go to the DMV or things like that, I think I did have that in here. Yeah, right here. That was my registration right there with 5425 for my car. I drive a 2013 Honda Civic Si, so the registration costs are pretty low. Insurance is pretty good too. But you can see here like groceries, electronics. That 24 track recorder. It was mostly right there in that electronics. So maybe I'll have some new intro and outro music in my videos soon. Then we'll go to the my net worth. So over at Vanguard, I have a IRA as well as a taxable brokerage account, and that is the sum of both of those, $459,800, and I rounded it to the nearest $100, just kind of keep it simple. And then over at M1, I have an IRA valued at $683,600. This is close of October. And then T. Rowe Price, this is my work 401k at close to $100,000 at 97.2. And then Synchrony, this is like a 6-month emergency fund. It's getting 4.3% interest, and right now $24,200. And then Capital One, I have 2 months of expenses over there, approximately a little bit more, and that's getting 4.1% interest in that savings account with $14,900. And then M1, I have a taxable brokerage account at $267,200, and that's what most of my videos are looking at and showing you my buys within the M1 taxable brokerage account and showing the dividends as well from that portfolio. And then over at M1, I also have a savings account getting 4.5% interest, and that balance is $58,600. And then here is my home equity. I've kind of just left it at this 125. I should probably update it as it's gone up due to a little bit of appreciation. And then also I've been making payments on the house since February, but I've kind of put the home equity pretty much, the home value minus my down payment, and kind of kept it static. So we'll see, one of these days I may raise it, but I'm in no hurry because really home equity doesn't do me a lot of good to really help out in my situation. The only thing that really can help me out in my situation is cash, which is right here, and then taxable brokerage accounts, which right here, M1 taxable, and then over here at Vanguard, about $180,000 of this is taxable. The rest is IRA. So we'll take a look at, to close this video out, just kind of comparing from October 24 to September 24. So 1 month difference in my net worth was $3,000. But looking back from October 23, my net worth went up $429,100. And that's because of pretty much the stock market, the S&P going up 30+%. And that is what that is about. It wasn't like I won the lottery or anything. It was just a result of my net worth, which is mostly in stocks, going up by 30%. And then here is the change. This should probably say September, or actually October 22. Let's change that. So I copied that over, and let's make sure it's doing the math. Yeah, so the math over the past 2 years of October 2022, my net worth has gone up by $611,300, and that's again because of stock appreciation. Also, me buying more shares of things as well, and that is due to the gaps that I have, and then reinvesting that money or putting it into cash and it earning interest. So that's all I had to show you for this video, was my October budget, which is a little bit different. What I do is I just put every line item, anytime I spend a penny, I put it into the expenses. And I know a lot of people say, oh, that's a pain to write all that out. Well, you know what? Maybe you're spending too much or going to the store too many times if you have too many entries. And you can see the entries here. I had about 30 of them because we started on line 3. So to me, that's not too much to do an entry a day, to log my spending. And because I think it's really important, you need to know how much you're spending, because how do you know when you can quit work or pull back if you don't know what your expenses are? And I have another sheet that I use where I track it by month, where I can do an average. And I've done an average, and the last time I did it with a 2-year look back was like $4,508. So I know I need to make about $4,500 right around that mark to match what my current spending is. So that is one of the main reasons I do this, is to track, what my life costs. Of course, that does change a little bit, but I also need to know, income, how I'm doing with other things rather, than my job, because my job could be gone tomorrow. Who knows? But I have a lot of cash to back me up, but I also want to have a lot of different income sources that can help keep me afloat until I find another job, so I don't really burn into my savings. And I'd like to have this income here that's non-W2 hopefully pay for most of my expenses, especially when I don't have this expense of a mortgage. That's going to reduce, it would have been 32. Well, if you add in taxes and insurance is not going to be zero. So it'd be approximately $1,500 less, let's say, and that's a lot, less money I would need to make from other sources. So that's why I do this, to track this, and hopefully I provide inspiration for you to do the same, to track all this. And again, not every month is going to be a positive month, but if you really track this, I think you're going to help grow your gap in here just by knowing where your money is going. So thanks everybody for sticking to the end of the video. If you got value from the video, please click the like button. Also subscribe so you don't miss my next video, which will be my second half of the week buy. And in that video, I pick 5 stocks and put $20 into each of those and buy more fractional shares. And I'll show you what that does to my dividend income going forward, and also do your portfolio update over time as well. So thanks again everyone for sticking to the end of this video. I hope everyone has a great day.